Seehoff, am I a crazy person for forecasting that Darius Guice would have 12 carries in the game against the Pats on Thursday? Is that number way too high?
That's a lot.
I don't know if it's way too high.
That's a lot, though.
But I think it's too high. I would guess he probably gets 6 to 7, maybe 8. It's going to depend, obviously, on how the series that he's in, how those go. I think they're really comfortable with Guice. Obviously, he's going to get more reps than some other, future number one line guys, top line of the depth chart guys because he's a rookie. But I do think that he's solidified himself as the number one back. I don't think if you injected Jay with truth serum, he's going to say anything else, or Randy Jordan with truth serum, that he's going to say anything else. So I think 12 is too high, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets 12 in a preseason game. It just won't be this one.
Do you think that I know it's way early, but do you think that the Skins will keep 4 or 5 running backs?
4. I think the question would be 3 or 4, and I do think that number is solidly 4. 5 would be, it's just hard to make the roster work with that many running backs because, at most you need 4 on game day, and you never want to have someone where you're, like, outside of an offensive lineman, really, you don't want someone that you guarantee is down on game day, where, like, they're there or an emergency only, then maybe a third quarterback. But I think that you're looking at Guice and a backup for Guice, and that's a battle between Kelly and Perine, which I think Kelly is definitively winning at this point. And then I think you have Chris Thompson and a backup for him, which is between Byron Marshall and Capri Bibbs. I tend to be leaning Byron Marshall. I think Capri's had a pretty solid camp. He was hurt yesterday, so we got to see what his status is moving forward. They didn't really give us an update on him, so we'll follow up with Jay when we talk to him this morning. But I think Byron Marshall has a slight edge there because he's a pretty versatile guy. He played wide receiver at Oregon. They can split him out, do some things with him, and really use him more than they could probably use Bibbs, who can do that stuff, but not as well as Marshall. So I think you're looking at 4, and I think that's how they lay it out.
So you think there's a real possibility that Perine is released after one season?
Oh yeah, I just don't think he's that good, and I think they're discovering that could be the case. He's had some good runs. He's had some, like, there are some plays where it's right, and you go, oh, that's why you drafted him. Like, it's not like he doesn't belong in the NFL. It's just that, like, I think Rob Kelly is a better player. I actually think Capri Bibbs is a better player as well, from the things that I've seen both in games and then things that I've seen in camp this year. I mean, he just doesn't have the speed or the burst to get to the holes. Like, in the NFL, the hole is fleeting. It is something where it is going to be open for a split second, and it's not going to be very big, and you've got to get through there and get to the second level to get your 4 to 5 yards and then to keep the offense on schedule and move on to the next play. Or if you're special, maybe you make a move at the second level and you can get 10, and if you're really special, you make a move at the third level, and who knows how, you run the rest of the way to the end zone. Perine can't get through the first level, and that's a problem. And he just too consistently gets stuck in the hole, can't make guys miss, gets wrapped up by arm tackles, and you just can't have a back that's consistently going to get you 2 to 3 yards. And the thing with Perine last year, if you guys remember, was it took him a while to warm up, and maybe later in games he started to get a little bit bigger chunks. Just the NFL, you don't have time for that. You can't waste that many possessions. You only have 50 to 60 plays a game. It's not college where you're running 80 to 100 plays. And so those plays matter too much, and you just don't have time, especially when you look at a roster that's got a bunch of solid and now one obviously really, really good back in Guice, but even beyond him, so many solid players that are better options.